Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Rorschach. He made his first appearance in Watchmen, issue number 1, that was released in September of 1986. His real name is Walter Joseph Kovacs, and although there was a subsequent individual named Reginald Long that briefly carried the Rorschach title, I'll just be covering Walter, who was the real OG Rorschach, which happened to only stand 5 feet 6 inches tall and weigh 140 pounds, having brown eyes and red hair. But don't let this diminutive stature fool you. Rorschach is a monster, being an extremely skilled hand-to-hand combatant, having proficiency in boxing as well as street fighting due to his years of crime fighting and stints in prison. This is boosted by him being an extremely gifted athlete as well, having maxed out the strength, speed, agility, durability, and stamina of a man his age, size, and weight, quite often overpowering men that are much larger than him. Now, this can also be attributed to his amazing acrobatic abilities, being an Olympic-level gymnast that can move about with ease and silence. Now, Rorschach also has a genius-level intellect, being described as both tactically brilliant and unpredictable. He has extensive education in theology, political science, and literature, and is also a near peerless investigator and interrogator. I wouldn't quite say Batman level, but he's close. This intellect also lends him the ability to improvise in multiple situations, as well as develop and use a wider range of gadgets. Now, I know this might sound odd, but I think one of his best characteristics is the fact that he's a pure sociopathic anti-hero. He's not a normal, stable, or functional member of society in any sense of the words. Basically, he'd be what's considered an absolutionist, having developed a strong desire to make sure that all crime is brutally punished. To put it in perspective, he was actually pleased when his abusive, street-walking mother was brutally taken out, although the horrible conditions of his upbringing made him develop a pretty strong resentment for women, unfortunately referring to most of them as quote-unquote whores. So yeah, dude is a savage. So we know that Walter was born on March 21st of 1940. Mom, who was living an illicit lifestyle, also resented his interference with her business, leading to his vicious abuse. He didn't know his dad at all, and only knew that he liked President Truman and that his name was Charlie. Walter's brutal path and lashing out would start at just 10 years old, when he would savagely take down 2 bullies simultaneously that had abused him for years. This was the beginning of his remorseless vigilante mindset, with him progressively getting more unhinged and brutal as time went on. But he wouldn't take on the name Rorschach, which is a name derived from the psychological Rorschach inkblot test, until after he came across a new fabric developed by Dr. Manhattan that mixed layers of black and white liquids that constantly moved around in response to heat and pressure, forming various symmetrical patterns. He would make a mask out of some of this extra material and become the feared Rorschach, eventually even considering it his literal face and not just a mask. From this point, he would go on to be the worst nightmare of New York City's criminals, with him particularly liking to avenge powerless victims. Not too long after taking on his heroic persona, he would team up with the second Night Owl. But after the Keene Act outlawed costume adventurers, he defied the law and operated as a lone wolf, remorselessly dodging police and still striking fear into criminals. Now, fast forward to the 1980s, where he would investigate the murder of the comedian, recording his findings in his journal along the way. He would then reunite with Night Owl and the new Silk Spectre, around this time also discovering a plot by Ozymandias to devastate New York City. However, when his partners would agree to keep this plot a secret for the greater good of world peace, Rorschach's absolutionist moral code wouldn't allow him to do it, actually telling Dr. Manhattan to kill him because he wouldn't keep the secret. And although that would be the end of the road for Walter, his investigative journal would later reveal everything to a new generation. Now, due to his abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Rorschach a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.